Welcome to DEFCON 3. I'm KT McFarland. War in the Middle East continues in Syria and Iraq against ISIS. Joining me to discuss the latest is General Jay Garner, retired Army and legendary military leader who spent decades in Iraq, northern Iraq, and Kurdistan. So let me ask you, General Garner, we've seen reports that ISIS is continuing to advance, taking more territory in Iraq and Anbar province. We're told by the administration that everything's working just fine. What do you think?
No, it's not working fine. But the thing we need to do is look at what ISIS strategy is, and they got a four-pronged strategy. Number one was to expel the Americans from Iraq. Well, we did that for them. We left Iraq. Number two was to establish an emirate and then expand that to a caliphate. Well, they've done that all the way from Syria over to the Iranian border through Iraq. The third thing they intend to do is to attack the surrounding countries, Turkey, Saudi, Kuwait, Jordan, etc., and pull them into the caliphate. And once they've got them into the caliphate, the fourth and last priority they have is to use the combined power of the caliphate to eliminate and destroy Israel. And if that happens, then you're looking at Ezekiel 38, and I don't think any of us want to go down that road.
So what do you make of the reports then that the Iraqi army is doing better, it's going to retake certain areas that ISIS has already had? Are they going to be able to deal with this four-pronged strategy?
I don't think they are. I don't think, number one, they're not well led. Number two, you can't tell that there's a lot of motivation there. And do they have a will to fight and a will to win and a will to defend their country? And you just look at us. It took us over a year to get our forces ready to fight in World War I. It took us over a year to get our forces ready to fight in World War II. It takes a long time to train an army and get an army ready. You can train soldiers, but when it comes to putting an army together and going into combined training, collective training, that's a very difficult thing. You can't do that rapidly.
Where did ISIS come from? You know, they seem to have come out of absolutely no place, and now they're well trained, they're well armed, they're taking more and more territory, they seem to be on the move. Did they just come out? I mean, was this the old Iraqi army? Who is this?
Well, they started in Anbar in 2005, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then after the Great Awakening there, they moved into Syria, and they incubated in Syria. And they've got a lot of money. They're well led. They're organized. They are an army. And now they're well equipped because the Iraqi army gave them 4 divisions worth of equipment when they fled. So they're a pretty formidable force, about 200,000 of them.
And when you say that their next goal is to attack surrounding countries, is there evidence that they've started to do this already?
I think right now they're kind of in a stalemate in Syria and in Iraq, although it looks like they're having some movement in Iraq now. And I think you can see them beginning to nibble on the edges of other Arab Sunni countries. So yeah, I think they're beginning to expand. So we need to halt that. We need to stop that. All we've done right now is cause a stalemate, and at best a stalemate, because we have no policy and we put in airstrikes, but they're very limited. Mm-hmm. So we need to do far more than what we're doing.
You know, months ago we were talking about the Kurds and ISIS advance on the Kurds. The Kurds were the only group in the region fighting back, and the Kurds wanted American military equipment. We promised it to them. Has it ever been delivered?
No. You know what we've done is we have rewarded the Arab Iraqis for their failures, and we punished the Kurdish Iraqis for their success. No, we haven't given them any heavy weapons, and they drastically need heavy weapons.
Why?
I don't know. I think it's a misguided thought process in the administration and the State Department that if when all this is over, they don't want the Kurds to be well armed. And it also may be nudges we're getting from the Iranians, who also don't want the Kurds to be well armed. You know,
one of the things that seems to be sort of most peculiar about all of this is the Iranians, the Shiite Iranians, somehow are connected to the Iraqi government. Mortal enemies forever, and now they seem to be best friends.
They're not connected to the Iraqi government. They own the Iraqi government. You know, the Iraq we stepped out of became Iran's Iraq, not ours. And when this whole thing is over, it's going to be Iran's Iraq again. I mean, when a body when they decided a body would be the new PM, where did they go to get approval of that? They went to Tehran and got the approval of the Ayatollah. They just sure as hell didn't go to Washington and get the approval of Obama. So it's Iran's Arab Iraq is, except for the Sunni element, Arab Iraq is all controlled and owned by the Iranians.
So we're leaving the Middle East, and we're leaving effectively Iran in charge of a very large part of it. Is that right?
Yeah, Iran has a Shia arc that travels all the way from Iran through the Shia part of Iraq, through Syria, all the way over to Lebanon, where they fuel and Hezbollah. So it's the Iranians are very powerful in that part of the country.
I don't think this is not how this war was supposed to end.
No, it wasn't how it was supposed to end. And you know what happened is the Iraq we wanted to create, we weren't able to, but that Iraq got created up in Kurdistan. Kurdistan is everything that we wanted Arab Iraq to be, but we refused to recognize that.
Missed opportunities at every stage. Thank you very much, General Jay Garner. If you want to hear more about this and other stories, go to foxnews.com, and I'm KT McFarland.